Here we are. Welcome, UTB Blogcast number 25 with Dave, Bartron, Kevin, and Robert is here for the first time on his priv.
Is it 24 and a half or is it 25?
We're going 25. 24 is the lost episode. At some point, maybe YouTube will release it to us, and we can release it 5 years from now as the lost episode when Brad still had a little hair left.
They must be just scared that, UTB is taking over the internets. So they had to, get rid of 24 or something.
Either that or you were talking about Google and they just said, no, fuck it, take it out.
Yeah. Forget about it.
So how is it? How is the podcast on a priv there, buddy?
Phone's hot.
Is it warming up?
I can tell you that. As far as video and audio, everything sounds great.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Are you on a headset or speakerphone?
No, just speakerphone.
Oh, it sounds excellent.
Walking the dog, the little noises you hear in the background, it's called the coqui. It's a small frog about the size of your thumb. It's like the living symbol here, so that's what you hear in the background. But not bad.
You should catch one and name it Underbiter. Underbiter.
Yeah. Then you'd have to get a leap.
At least now I can say I have two uses for the priv, a camera and a Hangout, the podcast.
There you go.
It really is a great camera. That camera amazes me, and I haven't really played much with it, but it's been little things throughout the day where I want to remember something, take a picture, and then go back and look at it later, and it's like, damn, that's a good picture.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, I like the camera on the Passport pretty much just as much.
No, I haven't there. No way.
Yeah, but I was going to say I work harder for the shot. That's my proviso. I got some guitar pictures I took outside for posting on a guitar forum, and they are, you can zoom in on those things, and they are just gorgeous shots. It's a good camera, but it's not as good in low light.
You think so? I would say close distance, yes. Farther off, no.
Yeah.
I just, with my just little snapshots of just, oh, here's something funny, I'll just grab a picture of it, share with the group. They're amazing photos, with absolutely no trying. And, I've always loved the Passport camera, but yeah, I definitely say this is a much better camera.
Except for maybe the front-facing one.
Well, who really wants to see that, Well, looky!
Hi,
it's
Sophie.
Our prize picker.
Yeah.
¿Qué pasa?
Well, what's up on the docket? What do we want to discuss?
I don't know. Everybody got their Christmas shopping done?
I just think the light and the ornaments.
Because I sure don't.
Haven't even started. But
yeah, I did all mine.
What the hell?
Well, what's the community been talking about this week? We had a nice back and forth about marketing earlier in the week, with some people saying that this has been a waste of marketing, and then others showing where they think that's different. I've said it on the podcast or the blogcast several times that I really appreciate what BlackBerry's been doing. That the fact that I can walk around in my area where I've never heard anything except, oh, BlackBerry's still making phones. to where now I've got people asking me about it. You know, when they see it, they go, "Oh, is that the new BlackBerry?" It's not. What is that anymore? So to me, that's a huge difference, and that's a huge success as far as the marketing goes.
Yeah, I agree. The you know, I mean, we've said it before. BlackBerry's biggest problem is branding. You know, I was in a Future Shop, was it 3 or 4 years ago? No, say 2013, say middle 2013, after BB10 was out, and they were getting rid of their liquidating their playbooks, and I'm just playing around with it. I hadn't used one before, and these two old guys, seniors, come by, and they started looking at it and said, "Oh, they're really impressed." And one of them saying, "Hey, this would be great for you." And he says, "Yeah." But then his friend looks down and says, "Oh, wait, that's BlackBerry." Ah, no, forget it. And he says, "Yeah," and he says, "No, I want to move away from that." He loved the product, but it was the brand he didn't like. You know, and we've seen this when you talk to people. Hey, you want a BlackBerry, and they just couldn't be bothered. And I think this marketing is doing a great job of doing exactly that. Like you're saying, Brad, now people are asking for BlackBerry. BlackBerry's now on their radar at the time when they're thinking of getting a new phone. And that's their big job. That's the first step. Once you can fix the brand, then you can start releasing products, and you'll see the pickup. I mean, look at Apple. They release crap, and they're running just on branding.
Yeah.
It's all branding. It doesn't matter how crap the product is. People are going to buy it because it's got the Apple logo on it. You know, there's a great example of just how powerful branding is. On the other hand, flip side, you look at BlackBerry, great products. Like BB10 phones, fantastic products, but the branding is so damaged that people aren't looking at it. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think their marketing, they're going really on the, they're really nailing it.
Yeah, I think that there's a really good campaign going on social media and over the internet and YouTube and whatnot. And the traditional is not there. And by traditional, I mean radio or television especially. It's not there. And right now, I don't really care about that because the impact, I think, has really been made. Anybody who's into technology and has a computer or is into the social networking thing is going to see these ads that have been strategically placed, even on websites that hate BlackBerry traditionally. Won't mention any our names, but they're there. It's like guerrilla marketing. I think I was talking about that before, but I called it something wrong. Anyway, I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a really good job at spending almost no money and getting their point across. Because, like Brad said, everybody's frickin' talking about it.
You know, that's the important thing, is the end result. You know, and
right.
We've got a lot of armchair CEOs that say they can do it better. And here's the thing: we all have opinions. Every single one of us have opinions. Everything that we say.
No, not me.
No. Well, everything we say on the blogcast is an opinion. You know, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not saying that we're. Robert, you're giving me like a great echo. Okay, well.
He turned his mic off.
There we go. But when we listen to people's opinions, it's up to us to decide if we want to believe them or not. And it kills me, you know, when you're making that judgment as far as who I'm going to listen to or not. If you've got someone that is saying it flat out, this is the only way and nothing else can happen, I stop listening. You know, when you have people pointing fingers at other people and making commentary about them and then won't accept it back towards them, that's a reason not to listen. You know, I mean, there's I'm trying to be very politically correct here because people get pissed off when I go off and name people and name incidents but I was pissed off earlier this week. There's an article that came out on another site, started out on a channel. I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with it at all. And I said that. I commented on it. And I found out very quickly that my comments were deleted from the channel. I was banned from the channel. And the person had deleted me as a contact on BBM. And you know, it's like, that proved to me right there that that's somebody that's not willing to have a discussion. You know, they think their way is right and refuse to listen to anything else, and that's enough for me to realize that they don't know shit. Anyway.
Well, you're right. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody has similar orifices. But what can you do? It's you know, channels are like anything else. It's like your own freaking newspaper. If you want to have this political view or whatever view, then it's your deal, as long as it's not illegal in BlackBerry's eyes on the channels. Then you can say whatever you want.
Well, like we make a lot of statements. We have a lot of opinions.
There's Robert with his microphone on again.
Yeah, Robert's giving us a crazy echo. Thanks, Robert. But
yeah.
I mean, like, honestly,
damn it, Jim.
But like one of our biggest commenters never agrees with anything I say, and I'm talking about you, Anthony, if you're watching. You know, and
oh, he's watching.
Brad, I disagree. I love Anthony's comments, man. He makes me laugh.
I actually love Anthony's comments too. He's funny, but he never agrees with me, and he'll always call me out. But his comments stay.
You need a headset, Robert.
See, if this shit was on a real BlackBerry, you wouldn't have this call.
Good point.
And anyone have anything else to say about that? Because Robert just transitioned into another topic.
No, I don't know. It is what it is. Everybody's got an opinion. Tomorrow it's somebody else.
BB10 versus Android apps. Erica earlier today wrote a post about, you know, her opinions on the different OSs. And somebody in the comments, I forget who, and I don't want to grab my phone right now, said how great it was that, you know, he's really enjoying life on the Priv more so than his Passport, because he feels that he's getting the full smartphone experience now. And I can understand that from somebody that's requiring apps that we don't have, you know, easy access to. And I replied in the comment that you know, I disagree, because I'm running the Priv and I'm running the Passport side by side, and what I'm running into is that I'm trying to use the Priv as my primary, but I need to be able to do certain things, and you know, instantly I can't just do it out of the box like I could on my BB10. So I'm left searching through the Google Play Store, which is huge. I'll give them that, tons of apps. But I'm left cycling through app after app, trying to find something that will work as well as BB10 out of the box.
Well, isn't that what everybody always wanted? You have your apps now. Fucking shit, man. Yeah, walking the dog, I forgot to go to the mailbox. So I went back home, dropped the dog off, and came back to the mailbox, and I brought the wrong key. So, fuck.
Life with Robert.
Dave, yeah,
Dave, you've been on the... you've been on the Priv like primarily. You're back on your Passport now, right?
I was back on the Passport for about, I don't know, 4 days this week. No, it wasn't even that. I went back on the Priv on Tuesday after the update. So Friday night after the blogcast last week, I switched over to the Passport and had a beautiful weekend. and then on Tuesday, after the update dropped, I went back on it to experience, or back on the Priv to experience that. And so it's Friday, I'm still on that. So it's been 4 days.
So your experience between the Google Play Store and BlackBerry out of the box, I mean, what do you feel like is a fuller smartphone experience?
You know, I had that conversation in the boardroom after or during the sales meeting today at work, and 3 people were looking at seriously picking up the Priv, and I said, well, to one of the guys who didn't realize it ran Android, he's on a Z30, and to the other guys, I said, you really have to take a good hard look at what you're used to compared to what you're going to get with this. And I used the swipe up and right to get to the hub as a comparison, and it showed them what you don't get there and what you do get. You know, you get these 3 things that you can choose from, and the fact that out of the box the thing is not worthless, but it sort of doesn't do anything. So there's no file manager. There's, you know, you get the hub and that's fine, but you know, you miss Blend, which brings with it immediate file access to your PC and vice versa. And they're kind of looking at me and going, really, you know, that's kind of a step backwards. But one guy wants it for the keyboard. And no, 2 guys want it for the keyboard. No, they all 3 want it for the keyboard. That's one of the driving factors is the keyboard. And so I showed them the differences. You know, look at this. You know, the virtual keyboard is the same as what you're doing right now. Yay! The physical keyboard's there. Yay! You can take a picture by pressing the spacebar on the hardware keyboard. That's awesome. It makes your pictures more steady because you're not pushing on the screen and moving the phone. Yay! You know, there's great things about it. And of course, 99.9% chance you're going to find the app you want in the Google Play Store, and it's the only place to go. But you're losing on multitasking. And you're losing some stuff that you take for granted in the hub. And you know, you're losing out on the smoothness of the thing. Hey, Wayno.
Hey, how you going?
Say hi, Wayno.
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah, Wayno.
Hey, we've got Australian content. That's awesome.
We've got our substitute chap.
Yeah, what I want to know is, like, what's the Wayno challenge?
I'll probably get a message from him now.
Yeah, right. It's your turn, man. So I guess just to finish off my thoughts on there, you know, it's nice to be able to search and have outrageously numerous choices for apps, what you want to do, but that brings with it a pain in the ass factor, which is, well, which one's any good? Which one's worth a pinch of coon shit? Which one has too many stupid app permissions, which is just retarded? You know, which one do I use? I mean, you don't frickin' know. So you look at the comments that people make about the app, And it's all over the map. This guy thinks it's the worst thing in the world. This guy thinks it's 5 stars. Oh, God, here we go. And then you try this and you try that, and it's a pain in the ass, and finally you settle on something that may or may not do what you're used to. Like a stupid file manager. Come on. Out of the box, BlackBerry, BlackBerry 10 right out of the box is all you need, and it's excellent. And it does all your cloud and your machine, your SD card, and everything, and you don't have to worry about moving files around. I've tried 3 file managers, and I'm kind of settled on 2, believe it or not. So that's just an example of it's awesome to have the choice, but there's so many choices, it's ridiculous. And some of the choices suck because they have ads, and I hate ads in apps.
That's a good point. You know,
I hate it.
I was going to write a post about that. That the amount of ads is insane. And you know, when I used to use Android a lot, it seemed like there was just an option to buy it. You know, buy it and get rid of the ads. I'm not finding that option in a lot of apps. You know, because obviously they're making more money off the advertising than if they sold the ad. And it's like half my screen is taken up with ads all the time, and these little pop-up ads and rotating ads and banner ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, piss me off. And I got no problem buying an app. You know.
Well, of course not. We're BlackBerry users. We have jobs.
It costs less than a coffee.
Yeah. That's right. So I don't have a problem with that, as long as the application isn't data mining my ass off, because I can't stand that. I scrutinize heavily the apps that I put on my phone. And I know JR is, how you doing, buddy? He'll tell you it doesn't freaking matter what I do. I'm still getting the life sucked out of me by Google. And that's a fair comment. There's nothing I can do about what Google Play does to me, but I can certainly dumb down what those individual apps do, and I'm absolutely a hard ass that way. Nothing goes on my phone that doesn't need to be there.
Dave, do you have the ability to turn off some of the permissions and still have full access to the app, or are you limited the minute you say, no, I don't want it to do this?
Today we don't have granular access to app permissions on Lollipop. That's a Lollipop thing.
Okay.
I've heard that there are apps out there that allow you to do these things, but I don't want another app controlling my apps. I'm going to wait for Marshmallow to test that theory. Why did I say Marshmallow? I hate that. It's M or 6. Anyway, when that comes out, it'll be, what, I don't know, 3 months maybe? Not sure. 2 months? I don't know. Then supposedly we'll get granular access to app permissions, and I'm kind of half expecting, but don't know, that DTEC will be a conduit to that as well, seeing as how it's already looking at those permissions today. I wouldn't be surprised if they update it to be able to check on and check off those permissions. So right now, no, Kevin. I got no choice but to just forget an app that has stupid permissions.
Because when I was migrating over to Passport this week, I was like, well, do I really want to give this permission or that permission? And it's something that would probably be one of those big ones where I'd be like, do I really want to just outright give everything out? Because the biggest one that I hate for apps is I don't want them to be able to update my BBM status. You know what? You don't. I do that. You don't. So I give them almost everything else, but that BBM status is one of those. No, people are like, I don't even see when that gets updated or gets sent out, and it's just a piss off. So, like that, I know it's something small, but it's one of those things that just is annoying.
Well,
no, it is annoying. You're right. Go ahead,
I can tell you in order to get for an app to have the built for BB10 certification, it has to use one of the services, which includes BBM. So your app has to either connect to BBM or use this service or whatever service in order to get these certified for BB10. certification.
I allow it to access BBM. I just don't want it to do my updates because you know what? I'm sure it's asking for a reason, and maybe I'm naive enough to think that it's for altruistic means versus data mining to the nth degree. But most of the apps I'm buying, I don't think are worried. Google has all my information anyways, so you know what? I'm pretty well out there as it is. But it's just I don't want to overdo it with certain things. I just want to have some control versus all the control, even though if I turn off all the permissions, then I probably won't get those apps working for me.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about the permissions on or running Android apps on BB10 is you can't disable it. So
No.
I downloaded a Paint app and it wants my location. Why the hell does a Paint app need to know my location? I can't disable it. So you either cancel and it doesn't run, or you give it location permission, which is kind of stupid. But for the most part, I think there's only one BB10 app that I would say kind of abuses the privileged permissions. They're basically it's basically an e-reader app, and they want everything: access to your contacts, your phone, every permission, and you can't disable it. It's all or nothing. And but other than that, I mean, that's the great thing I say with BB10 ecosystem is that the developers, they're good apps, they're quality apps, and they don't abuse their permissions.
Yeah, for the most part, I think you're right. And also, just to go back just a little bit, I agree with Kevin. I don't even say yes when I get a sticker pack to say that that's what I did on BB. I don't even say yes to that. Screw that. Maybe I'll have it and I don't want to use it or something. I don't know. I don't say yes to anything like that. Screw you. Don't care who you are. But that's just me.
It's because he's got the princess stickers. That's why he's not showing anyone.
Damn it! I told you not to say that. Oh, damn it.
Well, I kept the secret of the other one. We're all good.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, how many days in are you on the passport?
I am 3 days in full time. So what happens? I bought a used passport on the weekend. Didn't have the nano SIM card, so I was using it Wi-Fi only. And so I was playing around with it, and then on Tuesday, so I guess went and got a nano SIM card so I could switch over, and I've been on it 3 days straight now. I still think I type extremely slow, and I dislike how slow it is, and it's cumbersome. But I'm getting better. I find the capacitive keyboard awesome and annoying at the same time because I'm still not used to some of the scrolling. I inadvertently sometimes am scrolling, or it's now I get the movement circle. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And sometimes that pops up when I'm not meaning it to pop up. But
yeah, it could happen if you just sort of, while you're flicking around, you'd sort of touch the screen or something.
Yeah, and so it's getting used to it. I have 2 cases that I bought with it, and it was one's a fold-over one. Actually, I've got it here. Just the typical fold-over one. But I find that if I don't press the top button to lock it out, it's actually starts pocket dialing or pocket texting or whatever. So I worry about that. So that's a pain in the butt. And then I've got another just a hard case with it. So I'm enjoying it. I knew I would always like it. I just didn't know if I wanted to go back to a physical keyboard. I love my virtual keyboards in my 30, and I had my Z10 as well. So it's I have a classic for work, so I use a physical keyboard every single day. But I definitely think that the Passport keyboard is much, much better than the classic keyboard. The classic keyboard, I've actually caught myself thinking it was capacitive, trying to swipe back against the keys, trying to swipe up from the keys, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm setting myself up for failure on my work device because of the fact that the Passport's so amazing with the keyboard.
That's hard for me. Like it's really easy for me to switch back and forth between the physical keyboard and the virtual keyboard. they're different enough to where I can go pretty quick on each one. But from physical to physical, like when I got my passport, I had to stop using my Q5.
Yeah.
And trying to use the Priv physical keyboard along with the passport physical keyboard is pretty near impossible. So I imagine going classic and passport would be pretty rough.
And it's funny, until I started using it full time, the passport, the classic was never an issue. Now I'm finding issue with it. I'm almost like ready to say, can you give me something else? The funny thing is I was so excited when the classic came out. I was a couple months in, and I had an upgrade for work, so I'm like, I want the classic. I actually asked them because they said they did have one work passport in my municipality, and I asked for it, and they said, no, you can't have it because it was being used by someone else. But it had been passed from our director of IT, and they didn't like it. So because they didn't like it, we didn't go with passports within the city. So they jumped to classics from the Bolds 9900s.
Wow.
So
get a new IT guy.
Yeah, I think so. But the problem is the passports weren't free, but they found it that they were able to get the classics for free or whatever because of whatever agreement they have. I guess it was sort of a money thing, but I think that the passport, unless you really sit down and want to play with it and learn it, I think it's too out there for people to really want it unless they're open to change. And the problem is a lot of IT people aren't open to change. They're forced into change because of new protocols or new whatever, but that doesn't necessarily mean they want to change. My 2 cents.
And most IT people are relatively opinionated. I'll just say that.
But I think most people are opinionated. It's just if they choose to open their mouth or not. And IT people will be the first people to yell and scream at it, because if it means more work for them, then they have to do it. Yeah. They don't like it, right? Like I asked for if I could get just drive access on my Classic, and they're like, well, no, we normally don't do that. Like, why not? Like, we have essentially unlimited data because everyone's on 500 megabytes, but it's a shared plan. So we have, say, 800 or 900 devices there's no way that everyone is going to be using their data. So we've got gigabytes of data available to. So what's the big deal if I have access to my drives? So they didn't want to do that. I'll probably ask for that at some point in the future because now I have to go searching or when I'm off site because they've disabled Blend, so I don't have that opportunity to be able to work through that way and try and do some device management or drive management that way.
Yeah, so your organization is on BES and they nuked Blend there, or did they kill it with no IPv6?
I think they nuked it from the first one. I don't think it has anything to do with IPv6. Like I've got one of the IT guys allowed me to install it. He actually put in his password so I could install Blend, and it's blocked. Yeah. So they blocked it from the back end.
Right.
And no, I work for a municipality, so I understand why they're a little bit anxious or upset or worried about things getting out because we have a lot of very private things that we need to be careful about. But at the same time, if you have the proper protocols, then you don't have to block first. You can actually work your way through things.
Yeah. Well, from a security perspective, it's typical for someone to lock something down heavily and then open up stuff that's necessary as opposed to keeping everything open and then turning stuff off. It's always the other way around.
It's harder to do it that way. I agree. So I get why they do it, and I don't, unless it really affects me, I don't really care.
Yeah. Well, Lord love them for being BlackBerry BES users. Way to go. Yeah.
I guess there was one update when I was getting my Classic. So I got my Classic in March, and I guess one of the updates shut down a bunch of devices. And so the IT person I was dealing with was like, I hate BlackBerry, I hate this and that because it shut down. I'm like, you know what? No matter where you go, mistakes happen or certain things happen. It's a matter of, are they receptive and are they fixing it? And people need to understand that, and that's the problem. It's so many people are like, oh, I hate because something went wrong. No, shit happens everywhere. Like, just get over it.
Speaking of shit happening anywhere, Wayno.
Yeah, it just dropped out.
You're back though, and you had a nice week, huh?
Yeah, it was good. We had our hands-on with the Priv, put on by BlackBerry. It was quite a discreet little group. There was 6 of us in total, and they put on some nice food and drinks for us, and we had about 4 or 5 Privs to play with. They were really good, fantastic as far as answering any questions we had, giving us a rundown of all the features. So yeah, it was fantastic.
That's awesome. I got 2 questions. One is, did they have any shrimps on the Barbie? And 2 is, did those Privs possibly, were they running 6 or M, or were they running L?
Not that I noticed. Well, I'll answer the first question. We don't call them shrimp in Australia. They're prawns. But no, they didn't have any prawns. And as far as the latest OS, I believe they did have not the current release OS. I think they were more of a test release or a test OS that they hadn't released yet. And I mean, Android's pretty confusing to me, but the things were very smooth. Yeah, they ran really well. I was impressed. The phone itself is a damn nice device.
It is.
It's just a shame they couldn't supply one with BB10 on it, because I'd snap that up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you and us, all of us.
Yeah.
No doubt. And maybe that'll come true.
It was good to finally catch up with the chap. We've been chatting on BBM for probably close to a year now, and it was good to finally meet. He's a nice bloke.
Yeah, it's funny, you guys live in Australia, and I met him before you did.
Yeah, and he only lives about 40 minutes away, so really, we're both a bit slack.
It's just a few kangaroo hops away.
Exactly. A brief ride on a crocodile.
Yeah, right. Let's just knock off the stereotype. But you're welcome to, pick on us knuckleheads if you want to, maple syrup this and hockey stick that, go for it.
Well, they say that you Canadians are a lot like us Aussies over here.
We are?
Well, so they say.
Yeah, okay, well, who's they, Brad? We're exactly the same, except when
that's how you're alike.
We're exactly the same, except when we flush the toilets, they go in opposite directions.
As long as they don't overflow, otherwise we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
But one thing that did come out of the event was there was a couple of questions raised about blend on the Priv. It doesn't look like it's going to be available, which is probably a bad thing. I know a lot of people use it quite frequently. So that was one disappointing thing.
I was dismayed to hear that, Wayno. I was really dismayed. And I hope that you guys were the spearhead in them listening, and hopefully we can be vocal enough to change that. Because let's face it, I don't really think that the idea of BlackBerry offering Android handsets is going to go away. So I think that they need to bring the goodies
they were actually very open to any suggestions we had. We have their email address where we can keep in contact with them and forward on any suggestions. There was a mention of different colours.
Nice.
So that could quite possibly be coming out down the track.
Well, that's new news. I don't think I'd heard that before. Did you? Was that in the article? I don't think so.
I don't think Jack mentioned that. From what we hear, it will probably only be 2 different colours per device, but at least it gives some sort of choice.
So did they slip on what colors might be available? Is like just maybe black and white, or that's it, or what?
There was hints at a few colours, nothing too radical. Probably more along the lines of a metallic or a carbon fibre type colour. So yeah, not as. I mean, I'd like to see a red priv. I did see renders of the red priv, and I thought that was fantastic. I'd really like to get one of those.
Yeah, that'd be cool, and also an SE type. That looks pretty classy too.
I think they should do that with every model phone that BlackBerry's ever produced.
Yeah, you know,
the
it's
SE model is just so damn sexy.
It is, and I think it's an instant, iconic thing that you could take advantage of and go, well, here's our silver edition of this, and here's our silver edition of that. Kind of like the Porsche is the top end, but I think the silver edition is like the, it's like the high end of the normal production or whatever. I don't know. I really like it.
Hey, I think the silver edition is better looking than any Porsche edition that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. I don't really care for the difference in the icon sets, and they seem to take a very typical model, like they did it with the Z10. What else did they do it with? The Q10. They didn't do it with the Z30, and I haven't seen anything passport-wise. I don't know. Maybe Porsche's pissed off with Mercedes-Benz.
I actually did like the black and gold version of the Priv that was shown off from Vietnam. I thought that looked real classy. Very nice.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably, and I'm guessing here, but I know that there's an organization, a company there somewhere where you can send in pretty much anything, and they will make it gold. So they that's
the company that did that to the Priv.
Right. Okay. And so you can send anything you want in there, and they'll take it apart, and anything that's metal, they'll gold anodize it or whatever they do. So yeah,
an expensive device by the time you get that done, though.
Yeah, because it's real gold they're using there. It's not like the BlackBerry Passport Gold Edition, which wasn't jewelry, put it that way.
No, and that was like, how many of those did they make?
It was real limited.
It wasn't 50, was it? I know Rob got one.
Yeah, and John's got it.
Yeah.
I forget. I can find out. Real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. Have some coffee while I do that.
Coffee. Yeah, I'm right on it. That's a morning thing, Brad. It's not morning.
Yeah, 50. There were 50 of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They sold fast, that's for sure.
Yeah, real fast. Hopefully the Priv is selling that fast. World's biggest retailer, Walmart, picks up the Priv, sells out in a day or two.
Yeah, and I think, what was it? Did Best Buy America do it as well? I don't think Best Buy Canada did.
I heard, I don't know. I heard rumors of that, but I never saw it at Best Buy.
I'll have to check.
I hang out in Best Buy, and I've been looking for accessories, looking for cases for this thing, and they don't even know what it is.
No, here neither. And I'm not quite as creepy as you, Brad. I don't hang out in Best Buy, but I go there, I don't know, every 2 or 3 weeks, or I don't know, it's checking some stuff out, or if I need something.
Well, I stopped eating meals in there. They asked me to stop that, but otherwise.
Okay, that's nice. But no, in my last 2 trips to Best Buy in the previous month, since I've had the Priv, I have not seen one on display, which is a very first. They've always had a BlackBerry on display, especially the new ones, and there's no Priv to be seen, although I saw one behind the glass, behind the counter of the sales desk for mobile phones there. I saw a Priv box, one lonely Priv box, and it had a sticker on it and something written on it, and I don't know what. I didn't even bother go looking to see what that was because it was behind the counter and there was people there. But no cases. I looked, no nothing. So it's like they dried up, which is really weird. They always had passports and Z30s and Z10s and Q10s and every other model forever. And what else was I going to say? So I don't think Best Buy Canada was involved in that, and I don't know about Walmart Canada either. I should look that up too. But anyway, pick on Walmart. There's what, 11,000 stores? I mean, they're freaking everywhere. How many phones were in each store?
I believe it was sold online. It was offered online with in-store pickup or at-home delivery. So it wasn't actually in the stores.
All right. And what do you think let's face it, Walmart is probably the most aggressive purchaser known to planet Earth as far as getting, well, Walmart and Costco. They're probably equally aggressive at acquiring goods. But just picking on Walmart anyway, what do you think their minimum order is going to be? I don't think it's going to be 5,000 devices.
That's what I was curious to know, as to how many devices they did order for their original order and how many were sold out.
Right.
Does anyone know those people?
No. I mean, that's the question that we're all asking right now, and we're kind of hoping to get a peek at the earnings call is what kind of numbers these initial orders are. But I mean, even at that point, we're not going to hear anything about Walmart on the earnings call. That just happened. But I mean, hopefully it was big. Hopefully it was big and they sold. I understand what you're saying, Dave, about how Walmart operates.
Right.
But I can't imagine they would have sold out that fast simply because it was the same price that you could get it at Shop BlackBerry, same price you could get it at AT&T, and AT&T you can get the installment plans and you can get on a contract. So I mean, for them to sell out, it would have had to have been to Americans that are like us, you know, that want a BlackBerry, that are willing to buy an unlocked phone, and there's just not that many of us. The vast majority of America are people that will go into their carrier and get the phone they want from their carrier on an installment plan or under a contract, and you know, unlocked phones just aren't that big a business here. They just aren't.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's fair, and I had not realized that it was an online-only thing. I was looking at the number of stores, which I believe is over 10,000 stores, and I was thinking, you know, how many are going to ship to a store? So, but that's a fair comment. If you're only going to do it online, maybe 5,000 isn't a silly number to order, because 5,000 for 10,000 stores is one for every second store. And that
but I take it as a huge win anyway. I mean, would Walmart have brought in the Passport? You know, would they have brought in? They might have brought in the Classic. You know, I mean, but looking at the phones going back, this is a huge win for BlackBerry, just to be seen there, and the stock prices showed it. Apparently, once the news came out that it was in Walmart,
yeah,
the stock prices shot up.
Yeah, that's true. And then the very next day, the shorts. I love you guys. You know, they kicked the crap out of it again. Amazing. Tough to win against those idiots.
Well, you know, at least Apple's doing their part with that wreck of a battery case that they introduced silently.
That is the ugliest piece of shit I've seen, and I don't know how long. And I love that they're wearing it. I love the fact they're wearing it. And it's like nobody has anything good to say about it except for the odd, you know, brave apologizer, Apple apologist in comments, because ain't nobody loves that thing. It's an ugly piece of shit.
Well, that's why I included the link to that iPhone site, because the comments were hilarious. The people that were justifying it. I mean, I honestly think that when we were on BlackBerry 10.0 and we had, 5 apps to our name, and when we were justifying our purchase, we never reached that long. You know? It's like we may have reached a little, but we were never stretching like iPhone users are stretching right now.
Yeah. I like the fact that, you know, you can put it on its back on the table and then press on the home button and the phone will rock down to the, you know.
No, they can't. That was one of the guys that answered to that complaint. He said that no, he put his iPhone on an iPad or on an iPod and pushed the home button and it didn't rock.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, iPhones don't rock at all anyway.
They haven't for some years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By Apple that their phones have shit battery life?
Oh, it's terrible.
Why do you think they made that thing?
It's past the point of being ridiculous. I mean, you cannot walk around in public here without seeing people plugged into walls anywhere. Like, you find a wall socket, there's going to be a plug into it.
Yeah. Every time I go on a ferry over to Vancouver Island. On a ferry, the wall sockets are not aplenty. And so there's very few, you know, scattered about, so people can plug in vacuum cleaners and stuff and clean up the ship. And inevitably, every stinking outlet has an Apple charger in it. It's funny to watch. Oh well. But that is ugly. And I like the guy, I don't even remember where the article was, the 5 stupidest Apple creations of 2015 or whatever, you know, like the Apple Pen that gets charged by getting plugged into the iPad Pro, and it's just asking to be snapped off. It's just asking for it, man. Like, who designed that? And the whatever they call it, the mouse, where you have to turn it over and you can't use it to charge it, right? You plug the thing in the bottom and now you can't use the mouse.
Have they ever pulled a knighthood from somebody? Because I think the Queen should rethink the whole Johnny Ive knighting him.
Why did he get a knighthood in the first place?
Maybe he designed her a couch. I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be white and way too light. Or something.
So, Wayno, do you not see a lot of iPhones down there?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Oh, because that's...
And Samsungs, they're everywhere. It's very rare to spot a BlackBerry down here. I've only ever spotted one out in public, to be honest, and it was at a customer of mine. And I was quite surprised to see one. But you very, very rarely see them now. It's all iPhone and Samsungs down here.
Yeah, wow. And I guess it's been like that for what, good 5 years or what?
Probably, yeah, close to 3 to 5 years, yeah.
Well, carriers wield an awful lot of power, so.
Well, they do, and we're fighting a constant battle with the carriers down here at the moment.
Yeah.
It's looking like one of the three will carry the Priv. I spoke to my carrier, and they're just not coming to the party. Don't want to know about it.
Well, if they start missing out on sales, then that can change too.
Well, they're quite happy to sell you an iPhone or a Samsung, and you know they're quite persistent in trying to push people down that path. Every time I ask for a new BlackBerry, no sir, we don't have those, but we're quite happy to sell you an iPhone, and that's really frustrating. A lot of the people down here tend to buy their devices outright, whether they get them shipped from overseas. But there are reports people are paying $1,200–1,300 Australian for the Priv at the moment, which you know is quite a hefty price. But it's just going to show that people are desperate to get those devices.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the Australian dollar like compared to the US right now?
I think it's hovering around the 70-cent mark. I don't really keep an eye on it.
Dave, Canadian dollar and Aussie dollar have always been very close. So we're always within a couple cents of each other. So we always seem to be matching whatever Australia is doing. Right. I found when I was backpacking even 18 years ago, it was almost the same. I was running into them and we're talking dollars, and they're dollars within a couple cents of ours as well. So it's usually, but it's that shipping cost of getting it over all that water to get it there that makes a difference.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, good job anyway, Wayno, you and Chap and everybody else taking up the good fight to get some carrier recognition for BlackBerry as a brand and getting their products in there. Got to hand it to you guys. And it was really great to see that article you guys did, and how much fun you had, and getting that much attention. It's good news. Good job.
Yeah, next time you use the video camera. You know, periscope that or something.
Actually, we were told when we were invited that they weren't going to allow pictures. But on the night, they were quite willing to let us take pictures. They did have a few devices that were engraved with their serial numbers and things like that on it. So as long as we didn't take pictures of those, they were more than happy to let us take any photos. And as you noticed on, I think, the last picture of Chap's article, he was very keen to jump in and get a picture with the pretty lady.
yeah, he was very close in there.
Yeah, you know, you can tell.
And, yeah, I was killing myself laughing the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Chap, yeah.
But he did well, you know, getting us all. There was five of the guys were from our Aussie BBM group. So he did well in getting us all an invite in there, and we greatly appreciated it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had a request on our channel, and Dave told me not to pinpoint it, but I'm going to anyway because I don't see anything bad. So on our channel, we had a post. It was speaking about our forum. It was our Forum Friday post. What would you like to see on the last blogcast before Christmas? And we would like to hear that. And we're trying to figure out something to do for the end of the year, which we hadn't even thought about until Observation Junkie brought it up, I believe. But Burke, our friend Burke, runs BB Powered, a huge BlackBerry fan who runs one of my favorite two channels. The other one is Ping, of course. But it says, how about some ways for BlackBerry diehards to accept reality? Which some of our guys immediately took that in a very negative tone. And I'll admit, when I first read it, I did too. But Dave kind of enlightened me as to a different way to take that. Dave's my Jiminy Cricket that tends to keep, before I explode, I'll go talk to Dave. What would Dave do?
Yeah.
But obviously the first thing you think of is, oh, we have to accept reality, BlackBerry 10 is dead, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what Burke was saying. Dave doesn't think that's what Burke was saying, even though our guys obviously thought that's what he was saying. But at the same time, we do have a lot of BlackBerry diehards that refuse to hear anything about the priv, will refuse to say anything positive about this other direction that BlackBerry's taking. And that may just be what Burke was talking about. And it's
I kind of think it's
tough. It's hard.
It is hard. I mean, everybody on this cast, I'm sure, it was kind of A, horrified, B, disheartened, C, kind of felt let down that BlackBerry, I'm going to say, needed to do this. Because if they weren't going to do something, you weren't going to buy a BlackBerry handset. Sorry, they can't make only 100,000 or 200,000 phones for their existing, BES clients or whatever you want to call it, whatever the number is. They can't just survive on their existing BlackBerry handset users in government and They can't do that. I mean, they'd cost $3,000 each. You can't do that. So if you're not going to change, you're going to die. And I don't care what industry it is. You have to be able to adapt. And my heart sank because I am a BB10 lover. But more than that, I'm a BlackBerry lover because I like the way they do things and I like the way they think when they're thinking, which is, often. It's they kind of had to do this. And I think what he was getting at is, like, it's reality. You can't get away from it. And we are all hoping that the funds, a portion of the funds accrued are going to go towards further BB10 development and BB10 handset opportunities. Because let's face it, the contracts that they have, I don't know how long they are. They could be 5 years long, and what handset lasts that long? You're going to have to come out with another BB10 handset, in my humble opinion.
Right.
That's just me. So, but you need the money to come from somewhere, and right now, a good source of income can come from creating Android devices, because I don't think we've seen the last of that. And that's just the way it is. So it's not like it's, suck it up. That's not the statement. It's just that, hey, come on. This is another revenue stream. It's what we need. We need to sell lots more BES licenses. We need to sell some of these handsets. We need to do a bunch of things. We need to convert good licenses into BES licenses. We need to do more ad hoc and stuff, and so that we can be the software company and the handset company that you know and that you love. And so I think that's the reality that he was talking about, and I don't deserve to put words in his mouth because he's not here to defend himself one way or the other. That's just sort of the way I see it. It's just, that's kind of the reality. Don't hate it. Just don't. Like it. It's what we need to survive.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'm just. When I first read it, I agree. My heart sank. And it was one of those quick reality checks. And when you're fanatical about what BlackBerry and BlackBerry 10, as majority of us are here, when you hear something like that, it almost rocks you to your core. You're like, what do you mean? Like, this is how dare what I truly support and want to happen go away? But then, talking a lot with what Dave just said, is the opportunity for change and development has been seized upon, and I think that they're doing the right thing by not being that old, tired BlackBerry that everyone's been bashing. We have been. I think the change is a good thing, and I think because of that change, there's the change of perception, and that change of perception will keep the company alive. It may be different than the way we like it or want it, but every company has to change or at least be innovative in what they're doing. And BB10 wasn't getting the traction that it should have been getting, so why not look at other opportunities to try and get some of that traction? Because the only reason why I haven't run out and grabbed the Priv is because of the fact that I don't want to do that jump to Android. My wife has a Samsung phone, so it's the Samsung version of Android, and do I really want that? No, because I fumble around on it all the time, and I can't even figure out which way is up, and that's something that I'm like. I had a chance when I was going in and getting my micro SIM card, or my nano SIM card, sorry, to actually play with the Priv, an operational one in the Bell store, and it was amazing. It felt way better than I ever thought it would. But I tried to swipe every which way, and I was ready to throw it against the wall if it wasn't tied down, because I'm so trained on using all the swipe gestures that I was like, holy crap, I have to go back. And I was like, almost put on my brain of how my wife's phone is just like, okay, you have to hit the button, you have to wait a second for it to, but it was way better than I ever expected. Coming from a Torch previously, like flipping up for the physical keyboard, I was like, it's better. It's even like I liked the Torch one, but this was much better. Like the improvements there. So, getting back to the topic of that change piece, change is inevitable, and if we look at it, try and look at it the positive of this was necessary to keep this brand alive, then we got to jump all over it and be. And we don't have to like it, but I think we should support it in that movement forward.
How about you, Wayno?
Yeah. Look, I agree with it. It's definitely another avenue of revenue. Provided they keep making BlackBerry 10 handsets, I'll be more than happy. I'm actually thinking of getting the Priv. I was really impressed with the device itself, and it definitely gives them more options and can only increase the market share. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because I think we run the gambit here. Like, I was someone that said that I was not going to buy the Priv, and I've got it. Dave was more willing to use it, and he got it, and has used it more so than I have. Is Robert still here?
I'm gonna have to unmute him.
I don't want to unmute him. Who knows what's going on over there? But I was trying to get him on BBM, and he's not listening. But I really wanted him to close us out with his thoughts on the Priv.
Yeah, I can hardly wait for that. Come on. Well, while we're waiting for him, I'm just going to equate this to the business I'm in, and we are a value-added reseller for voice over IP telephony products. So we'll put phone systems in for business and industry, and if we only had one product to offer, we wouldn't appeal to as many people. And so for that reason, I think that it's a good thing that BlackBerry can offer two streams of products in order to appeal to a broader swath of customers. So, the more I think about it, the more I'm okay with it. I still have this little stabbing in my heart that we've gone away, not gone away, but altered the course or expanded the course. And I'll say it again, like I said last week, BlackBerry 10 is the best operating system on the planet. That's what I told these guys in the sales meeting today. It just is, and I told them why. And they're like, "Wow, no, really, you're kidding, really." And now that I have experience in all three platforms, well, not Windows Phone, sorry, but the three that we continually talk about anyway. They're taking me very seriously about that, and you can see it in their eyes. It's like, well, maybe I should take a look at that. Anyway,
as much of a BlackBerry 10 lover as I am, I was equally an Android hater, and I was called out on that a few times when BlackBerry decided to put out an Android phone. And like what Kevin was saying earlier about using his wife's Android, the jump from BlackBerry 10 to the Priv is not as difficult as regular Android. Excuse me. I hate regular Android, but with the Priv, you can kind of ignore it.
To a degree.
To a degree.
They've done some.
Yeah, I still get to cling on to my hub thingy, yay, and I still have more of a look into the security aspect of that using the DTEC app, and I also am a lot, and there's a bunch of Android people that will refuse to purchase this product because they cannot root it, but I like that. So there, and then there's the keyboard, of course, and the antenna, but that's why I can live with it and not hate the thing.
Yeah,
I can like it for those reasons.
Oh, I know where I was going because I got really sidetracked. But can you guys see my dog back there?
Yep.
But of course, yes.
Okay, I didn't know if she was visible, and I just got a good look at her. Anyway, that's Sid. There's UTB Sid, but
she's having a good lick at you.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking about the BlackBerry diehards and coming to reality, we need to flip that 180 degrees too. And there's a lot of voices in our community that are pushing the thought that BlackBerry 10 is dead in the water right now. Now, when the Android first came out, I was very solid in my belief that we were going straight dual strategy, dual OS. Things have changed along the way. We know that there's been some layoffs. Some areas of BlackBerry aren't as strong as they were before. And it doesn't sound to me, and this is, again, just me going off of rumors and whatnot, that as much effort is going into BlackBerry 10 right now as there was just a few months ago. But at the same time, it's not dead. We still have 2 updates coming. We know that there's still contracts that are going to last longer than the life of the current BlackBerry 10 phones that we have. So like Dave said earlier, I would easily bet money that we will see another BlackBerry 10 device. And I think all we need to do is see that device division profitable, and I'm hoping we see that. Well, I mean, of course, I'm hoping we see that on the next earnings call, but I don't think we will. I think we'll see that on the following earnings call. And then we will be right there with our dual OS strategy is what I'm hoping for. But other people are just stating it as a fact that it's gone and it's dead. And I'm sorry, seeing the community follow the people that are saying that is just wrong. BlackBerry has not said that. BlackBerry has repeatedly said that they're offering a choice, that they're not giving up on BlackBerry 10. And I see it in our own comments where someone said it earlier today, why are you even concerning yourself with when BlackBerry's turned its back on BB10? It's just not the case. And stop listening to the people that are telling you that.
Yeah, no, everybody has their opinion, like we said before, and everybody sees their own version of the writing on the wall. And there are those who have their opinion and can see their writing on the wall, and they have the ability to share that. In other words, they have similar avenues that we do to say things, and some of them have larger voices than we do and larger audiences. And those people are not doing anybody a favor. They're actually doing the company a disservice by stating their opinion, because it's nothing more than just an opinion, and their version of the writing on the wall. If you don't take the company statements to heart, then all you have is your own personal opinion, which we all know what that is. So it's too bad. Until BlackBerry comes out and says it's in maintenance mode, it's nothing but an opinion, and they haven't come out and said a thing like that. Why would they? It's ridiculous.
Guys, I think the reason a lot of people are thinking that is because they quite possibly haven't seen a VB10 update recently. Naturally, with the cutting back of staff and things like that, their resources are limited, and they're quite likely just putting a lot of effort into the Android devices at the moment and getting that system up and running, and where it's it's reliable and everyone's happy with it. I don't think we've seen the last of BB10, far from it. Too many enterprises rely on it, so I think it's just a lack of resources. The updates will come.
Yeah. Well, what was it, last week or the week before? There was a leak. Those same old leaks that we saw. There was an update. What didn't come wasn't even a carrier outlet, right?
It was. Who was it? It was someone that you'd least expect. Was it Sprint? Someone ended up rolling it out.
Right. So where'd that come from if it's dead?
Right. I mean, Wayno kind of hit it on the button. Right now, they've got a new device out. They've got the Priv out, where they should be spending all their resources right now, and resources are limited, let's be honest. Where they should be spending all their resources right now is getting that phone to where it can beat every other Android phone out there, which I kind of think it already can. But in order for them to officially be able to do that, they need to get it on Marshmallow. Marshmallow was just released, a release to them, a week after the release of the Priv. So they're getting it. That's where their resources should be right now. Where their marketing should be is the device that just hit the market. And when it's time for the next BB10 phone, I hope and pray that we see the same amount of marketing and the same amount of effort going into that device as we're seeing right now on the Priv.
Yeah. I know that they're going to be working stupid hard on getting more features into the hub on Priv, and Lord only knows what. I heard scuttlebutt from I forget who, Marty Beard, or I can't remember, who said, "Oh, really? You guys want a BlackBerry-built file manager?" And it's like, well, duh. It's only the best thing since sliced bread, dude. Come on.
That was during that AMA, I believe.
Oh, it was the AMA. That's right. Yeah.
agree with that. I think images should definitely be in there. The other thing that was raised at our event in Sydney was remote file access. And will that coming to the Priv? And their response was they are looking at that, but would like to get more feedback as to what features such as that that we'd like to see. And that's a feature that I use quite often for work. If I need to get access to some information, I can quite easily get on the passport and get the information that I need when I'm out on the road. It's very handy, and I use it quite frequently.
Yeah, I miss the hell out of that. Absolutely.
The other thing I noticed too was the BBM update came out this week. We saw some good features added to that, the search feature and also other editing and retraction of messages. One thing I was disappointed was the editing and retraction of messages in BBM groups. You can't do that on BB10 currently, but you can on Android. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but I'd definitely like to see that brought across to BB10.
Yeah, and that is interesting. What I found funny that day was that there was a BBM for Android that morning, and immediately there was this explosion of, oh man, they got that first, and where the hell is you guys abandoned BB10? Like within hours, the BB10 version dropped.
Right.
I thought it was
instant anger.
Yeah.
Instant anger that they got it first, and
yeah.
You know,
and I was trying to calm people down and going, look, man, you know, there's these four sets of developers. You've got BB10 BBM developers, Android BBM developers, Apple iOS BBM developers, and Windows Phone BBM developers. And they're all on their own, you know, they all probably have the same agenda and targets, but they all have their own different finish dates and, you know, being able to go live dates and whatever, because they're finished now. And it's just like, take a pill. They, you know, it's probably all got the same feature set goals, but relax. It's okay. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I still don't like those foo-foo colors in Android BBM, as Brad likes to call them.
Hey, there's a reason my Priv's avatar is the, what are those little guys called?
Minions?
No, man.
It was some kids show. Teletubbies.
Yeah. Right. It's because, I mean, look at BBM on Android. Tell me the Teletubbies aren't a perfect avatar for that.
They're perfect.
They're perfect. Well, we've made it through the blogcast, without having the glitch that we had last week. So I say we count our lucky stars and hope that we can close this out without losing another episode.
Well, unmute Robert. Is he still there? Or are you scared?
Himself. He hasn't answered anything, so I think it's like past midnight for him. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
He read my message, that guy.
Bark at him. Bark, bark, bark.
I'm actually listening.
There he is.
There he is.
Okay, Robert. We're ready to close out the night, so why don't you tell us what you think of your Priv?
Honest opinion for somebody who wants a lot of apps and a really good phone. I mean, this is the perfect device. For me personally, I need something that works out of the box. So, I mean, I've given it a chance. I have the business partner who's actually using the other one that I bought. He's happy. He's coming off of an S5, and he loves it. He can open up PDFs that fold really fast. The battery lasts a long time. For me, summing it up, it's shit. I mean, I love native BB10. I mean, The phone has an awesome camera. I went on vacation, 2 days in Disney, a week-long cruise. I took 1,034 pictures with this camera. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, the BlackBerry hit it out of the park with the camera. Other than that, I mean, I just use it for a couple groups and everything, but I have to stick with native BlackBerry.
Agreed. And that's coming from the UTB guru.
True blue, man.
Yeah, everybody has the device that works best for them, and I've always respected that. So, just my opinion, yeah, Android shit.
Perfect closing. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Night, everybody.